The year is 2025. The Israel-Gaza conflict continues to rage. This ongoing struggle is rooted in decades of animosity, displacement, and violence. It is a conflict that has claimed countless lives and shattered the dreams of millions. At the heart of this conflict lies the question of Palestinian statehood and the right to self-determination. The seeds of this conflict were sown in 1948, marking the year of Israel's creation and the displacement of hundreds of thousands of Palestinians. This event is known as the Nakba, or catastrophe. The Nakba created a deep wound that continues to fester, fueling the conflict to this day. In 1967, Israel occupied Gaza, a situation that lasted for decades and led to resentment and resistance. In 2005, Israel withdrew from Gaza but maintained control over its borders, airspace, and territorial waters, creating what is often called an open-air prison. Adding fuel to the fire, Hamas, a Palestinian militant group, won elections in Gaza in 2006. This victory alarmed Israel and the international community. Hamas is considered a terrorist organization by Israel, the United States, and several other countries. In 2007, Israel imposed a blockade on Gaza, citing security concerns and the need to pressure Hamas. The blockade has crippled Gaza's economy and severely restricted the movement of people and goods, creating a dire humanitarian situation. The people of Gaza live in a constant state of uncertainty, facing poverty, unemployment, and a lack of basic necessities. The conflict has left them physically and emotionally scarred, a stark reminder of the human cost of this seemingly intractable conflict. The Gaza Strip, a small coastal enclave, is home to over 2 million Palestinians. Since the Hamas takeover in 2006, Israel has imposed a strict blockade. This has severely restricted the movement of people and goods in and out of the territory. The blockade has been condemned by the United Nations and numerous human rights organizations as collective punishment. The Israeli government argues that the blockade is necessary to prevent Hamas from smuggling weapons and to limit the group's ability to launch attacks against Israel. However, critics argue that the blockade has had a devastating impact on the civilian population and has failed to achieve its stated objectives. The blockade has led to chronic shortages of essential goods, including food, medicine, and fuel. It has also severely restricted access to clean water and electricity. The healthcare system in Gaza is on the verge of collapse. Hospitals are overcrowded and understaffed, often lacking essential medicines and equipment. The blockade has also severely restricted the freedom of movement for the people of Gaza. Palestinians require special permits to enter and exit the territory, and these permits are often difficult to obtain. This has made it challenging for Gazans to access education, employment, and family members outside of the Strip. The blockade has turned Gaza into an open-air prison. In March 2025, the Israel-Gaza conflict escalated once again, following a period of relative calm. The escalation was triggered by a series of events, including rocket fire from Gaza into Israel and Israeli airstrikes on Hamas targets. The situation quickly spiraled out of control, leading to a full-blown military confrontation. The March 2025 offensive was marked by intense fighting and heavy casualties on both sides. Israel launched hundreds of airstrikes on Gaza, targeting Hamas military infrastructure as well as civilian homes and buildings. Hamas, in turn, fired thousands of rockets into Israel, causing widespread fear and disruption. International efforts to broker a ceasefire initially failed, with both sides accusing the other of violating the truce. The situation remained volatile, and hopes for a lasting peace seemed more distant than ever. The international community watched with growing concern, fearing the conflict could escalate into a wider regional war. The March 2025 offensive exacerbated an already dire humanitarian situation in Gaza. The United Nations estimates that over 2 million people in Gaza require humanitarian assistance. This represents more than half of the population. The healthcare system is on the brink of collapse. Hospitals are overwhelmed with casualties. They face severe shortages of essential medical supplies. The conflict has also had a devastating impact on Gaza's infrastructure. Homes, schools, and hospitals have been reduced to rubble. The water and sanitation systems have been severely damaged. This has led to a heightened risk of waterborne diseases. The United Nations has warned of a looming humanitarian catastrophe in Gaza. The international community has pledged millions of dollars in aid to Gaza. However, access to the Strip remains restricted due to the ongoing blockade. Aid agencies are struggling to deliver essential supplies to those in need. The situation is particularly dire for children, who make up a significant portion of Gaza's population. The prospects for a lasting peace between Israel and the Palestinians remain dim. The two-state solution, once seen as the most viable path to peace, has become increasingly elusive. The international community has called for a resumption of peace talks. However, mistrust and animosity between the two sides run deep. The ongoing conflict has had a profound impact on both Israelis and Palestinians. It has fueled cycles of violence and retribution. The conflict has also led to a hardening of positions on both sides. It has made it increasingly difficult to find common ground. The international community has a responsibility to work towards a just and lasting solution to the Israel-Gaza conflict. This requires addressing the root causes of the conflict. It also means holding all parties accountable for their actions. Ultimately, peace can only be achieved through dialogue, compromise, and a shared commitment to coexistence. That's the latest on the Israel-Gaza war, a conflict with no easy answers. What do you think? Can peace ever be achieved, or are we stuck in this cycle forever? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read them all. If you're hooked on global stories like this, smash that subscribe button and hit the bell for more rapid report updates. We'll keep you posted on this unfolding crisis. See you in the next one.